Here's just a quick thought to mull over when you're feeling a little bit down about your riding or feeling a little frustrated with how your progress is going. That often when we're in those sort of situations, we forget what our strengths are. We forget what do we bring to the party, what are the things as a rider that we actually do well. When we're feeling that we're a little battered, our internal monologue gets quite down, and we think of it as sometimes radio doom and gloom. So it's a good little reminder actually to write down a couple of things. That what are my strengths, what do I do well, because our strengths are our basis for our foundations for what we build on and what we build out from. And then we tackle what we don't do well, or our weaknesses, or the skill development that we're trying to do. But we can get really down about what are our actual strengths. So the other important thing to remember is, we're often in a society or in a community with horses where, people are quite happy to point out what you don't do well. So make sure you're also surrounding yourself with people that are able to let you know what your strengths are. And it's sometimes really important to ask, because when we ask, we actually find out what other people see as our strengths. So, we don't always see the strength in ourselves at times. We have a point of view that is down, and, we're going to a bit of a dark place, but other people can often see, things that are bright within us. And if you find that when you do ask and people can't find your strengths, then are you in the right tribe? So often asking your friends, your coach, what are my strengths, can let us know, one, what people see that sometimes we can't see in ourselves, but also, if I've actually wandered into the wrong tribe where people are only seeing what I don't do well. So it's a really good thing to, every now and then, when we've been feeling a bit battered by how our riding's going, or how our training's going, or how our competition's going, is, well, what are my strengths? Write them down. How can I expand on them? How can I use my strengths to actually, lay a better platform for working on things I don't do well? And also recognizing, am I in the right tribe? Sometimes we can wander into the wrong tribe, and sometimes we're in the right tribe, but we haven't been listening to what our tribe is saying. Our tribe has actually been really supportive. Our tribe has actually been our big cheer squad, but because we've been feeling a little down, we haven't noticed that. And it's a good reminder, not only our own self-reflection, but also how we listen and hear from others. Sometimes we feel that people are constantly telling us what we're not doing right, but if we ask them, what are my strengths, we get to remember what they have either perceived as that we know that already, but it's just a good reminder that we all need to be reminded of our strengths. We all need that reassurance. We are creatures of habit in terms of, where are my good points? Where are the things that I do well? So if you find you reach out and that is not the case, then perhaps you've wandered into the wrong tribe for a little bit. Or perhaps, the tribe is wanting so well for you to do better, they've forgotten that you also need praise and reassurance, and an understanding of things can be a bit of a struggle. So remind yourself of your strengths, hear from others, which is sometimes a different point of view. But we all need that, because, life can be a little hard at times. And especially, when we're with horses and trying to do better and competing, or whatever the case is, we can go through periods where it's a little bit difficult. So remind ourselves, what are my strengths? Hear from others, what are my strengths? And let that be the basis of your next week of work, of hold on to my strengths, lean into them, get my confidence a little bit, and then take on whatever I'm trying to improve again. I hope that little thought helps. Let me know when people have told you what your strengths are, what you found that you were a little surprised by, that you didn't realize that was a strength that they see in you, whereas you'd lost that as what you felt as your strength. Because sometimes, what people see as your strengths are something that you haven't acknowledged within yourself. Anyway, good luck. Take care. Remember to be kind to yourself. See you on the next video.